change your mind.
You require my assistance? Adingo! We're gonna be rich.
I have no time for games.
Inferno! You require my assistance? Who am I?
Let me change your mind.
Hello, everybody. Welcome. Today is Wednesday. You all know what that means. Yes, it does mean we're halfway through the week. Yes, it means we are that much closer to the weekend. And yes, this also means that you can make jokes about it being hump day. But it also means it is time for another fantastic episode of Tavern Talk, the show where we like to go over the weekly shenanigans of THL and make our predictions and make some stupid hot takes along the way. I'm, of course, your one of your hosts, J.R. Juggerlaw, back here for a brand new season. It's good to be back, everybody. I gotta say, we had a nice break the last couple months, but it is good to be back. It is good to have a new season ahead of us. And let's get right to the co-hosts that I have. Of course, my usual co-host. He is the ultimate OP. He has a fantastic fashion taste, and he is not a doctor, but he is certainly part fish. Say hello to Dr. Fish.
Hello, everybody. I will kindly decline the Matt, whatever you said about me being the master op.
Why can't you just take a compliment?
Because Saku exists.
No. Saku, Saku is the ultimate Canadian OP.
Okay, I am the ultimate American OP. I'll take that. Thank you.
Exactly.
Take that, Donde.
No. I would never smear Saku's good name.
Yes,
ever.
we never smear Saku's
Everybody
good name.
knows I praise the man hell and back pretty much every week.
Yes.
I will take advantage of any opportunity at that point.
Yeah.
Am I allowed to smear Saku's name?
Of course.
Okay, good. Let's get that clear. Because he's
Wait,
his team's
Wait.
facing
You
my
asked
team
if
in
you
the
could
first week.
smear his good name?
Yeah.
No, I won't allow that.
Oh,
I thought you said,
okay.
"Can I praise Saku?" To which I would absolutely say yes, but you deceived me, so
Oh.
it's a
I'll have
problem.
to change what I'm saying then later on. So.
Anyways, now for our I'll get right to our new recurring guest host. He is fairly new to THL, but he's already making a fantastic impression for us. Say hello to Geranium Battle.
Hello, I'll say hello myself. Yeah, I'm loving THL so far. I'm getting on pretty much everything I can just because I really like the community and I'm really liking getting into competitive Hearthstone.
I'm going to try my best not to drive you away.
It'll be hard to.
I mean, Fish puts up with me, so I'd like to think that that's a good sign.
I mean, I wouldn't say it in that ways because I enjoy I enjoy everybody being around.
Self-deprecating humor,
I
man.
know it's
Come on.
self-deprecating humor. I understand.
All right.
I'm a little slow
and
today.
Finally, our guest for the week. He is our resident agent or double agent, triple agent, whatever you want to call him. He is a fantastic one seed within THL and definitely an opponent you should watch out for. Say hello to Agent PWE.
Hello, everybody.
Anything else that I should add to your description, Mr. PWE?
I am, yes, as Fish is the master op, you can all refer to me as the master one seed because Saku's in the 5, so I don't have to contend with him there. So
That's true.
that is
That's a
me.
good point. He's got a good argument there. I respect that.
Yeah. Awesome.
So we've got ourselves a fantastic show for you guys tonight. We're going to be talking about the beginnings of every single season. Now, of course, same thing as last season. We've got Legacy, we've got Hero, we've got Pro, and we've got Wild. We're going to be talking about all four series, and giving some kind of initial thoughts on like some teams that we think are going to be important to watch out for, and just kind of some overall opinions on what to expect. Now, notably speaking, this season, there is going to be a bit of change as far each series has a bit of a change in the format. Legacy obviously went down from 24 teams this season to 18. And as much as I did enjoy the prospect of having a ton of teams, I think we can all agree, I think this is going to be easier for us to follow and more fun to follow, since we'll be able to keep better track of everything that's going on.
Yes.
Right? And for Hero Series, instead of having 3 conferences of 5 teams each, it's going to be one big conference of 12 teams. Now, the last time this happened, it was a pretty exciting season. My team ended up taking home the championship, so I might be a little biased in saying I think it's going to be work to our advantage, but we'll see. We shall see. Now, Pro and Wild, I'm forgetting offhand. Can somebody tell me how many teams are actually in both of those
I
series?
believe Pro is... I know Pro is a bye week. I'm not 100% sure on the amount of teams.
Yeah.
But I want to say... I know there are 2...
14.
it's 14, so it's...
Okay, so it's 7
in
each.
each.
So,
Okay, so a bit of
Yeah.
a drop off from last season where we
22.
had 22 teams. That was ridiculous.
Yeah. And then Wild is one big... Wild is, I believe, also something like 11, 12 teams or something like that, so...
So they're doing the same
They-
thing as
Yeah,
Hero,
they are
basically,
just...
right?
They just have no conference. One conference, I guess you'd call it, so...
No, I see 10 teams in Wild.
Oh,
I
it's
think.
10 teams in... Okay, so there's 10. So
But
there's...
either way, this means this will be interesting
I'm so
now because
unprepared.
every single team, every single series has a different amount of teams in a different format compared to last season.
Yeah. Alright, so
So-
Geranium Battle has said 18 teams in Pro, so it's the same as Legacy.
Okay, but that's also still different from Pro of last season. So either way, my point remains true.
Cool.
All right, so we of course are going to start off with Legacy. Legacy, of course, 18 teams, going to have a bye week. It's going to be pretty exciting, I think. Fish, do you want to get to the first match?
Sure. Alright. Leading off, and I have decided this season to revamp the screen a little bit. Not too much, but just enough. We're going to start off. I believe this is the match that JR is going to talk about, and this is Do You Even Tonk versus Hearthstone Academy.
Ah, yes. I like this one to start things off. So this match is going to be pretty exciting because I think these are 2 teams that can both very easily set the tone for what this season is going to be. This is this gold or red?
This is a gold conference match.
Okay, good. So I don't have to play against either of these teams.
Yeah.
I'm
my
pretty
team
grateful
my
for
team
that.
plays both.
Yes. So both of these teams, I have to say, are probably among the 2 of the more anticipated teams from this season. You guys can feel free to disagree, but I was saying before, we've got Do You Even Tonk, which is all you really need to know is it's Justin and Turtle in the 1-2, which is pretty sick. We've got our boy Geranium Battle, of course, in the 3. But then we've got 2 new people in the form of Kanu and Roofski, who my understanding is you guys all know each other personally, or at least Justin knows them personally. Geranium, can you confirm that for me?
Yeah, I mean, the idea of the team was Justin just sort of gets together a bunch of his personal friends, and we see just how well we can do. It just turns out that that everyone of Justin's personal friends is just cracked, and we're just gonna do really well. So
I mean, yeah, you guys look pretty damn strong. I'm not gonna lie, but the question is, Geranium, can you handle the monster, the insanity that is Steffi? Because she's a tough cookie.
look, all I'm gonna say is that we're gonna be facing Based Hoodwink. We're gonna be facing K Lost Luna. There's Steph Easy. There's 0 3-star Mako, and there's Joku
All right, I
down
like this.
in
I
the
like
fifth
it.
seed. Okay.
Damn,
like
right on the
this.
spot he came up with all of that.
I like
Holy
this.
crap.
I like this.
That's hilarious to me.
Yeah.
When I
I mean-
asked when I asked Mako for any comments, Mako said that Steffi's gonna go undefeated. I don't see that happening.
I mean, I will say this. Hearthstone Academy has arguably the most successful female players in all of THL history. So
True.
that to me kind of tells me, all right, this is a team to watch out for, like, as far as like there's just a lot of pure talent on this team altogether,
Yeah.
I think. Because Based has really grown as a player. She is shot up to the 1 seed in spectacular fashion. Kalis Luna should not be in the 2.
Nope.
I'm still kind of frustrated by that. Steffi in the 3, she's pretty overpowered, not gonna lie. I think that's gonna work very well for her, to her advantage. And Mako being in the 4 continues to be utterly absurd. Saku's pretty even at the 5, but we love Saku. We're gonna continue to root for him all the same. So that's just a fact there. But this one's a hard one to call because I think this match is honestly going to come down to Justin versus Based. I think Kalis Luna I think Kalis Luna and no. I think Turtle and Roofski are going to win their matches, and then I think Steffi and Mako are going to win theirs, and then I think it's going to come down to Justin and Based.
Oh, so we're taking the Isocles approach.
Is that what we're calling it?
No, Isocles always went against his always goes against his co-hosts.
Oh, right. I mean, nah.
I'm kidding.
It's honestly just hard for me to
I'm
bet
kidding.
against Steffi.
Yeah,
Like,
I
think,
understand.
I think both Geranium and Steffi are going to have really good seasons in the
Same.
3. This one's kind of a coin flip, really.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to be putting in my all. I'm sure Steffi is going to do the same. So I think the 3 is going to be maybe the most contested. But I think that Justin does have sort of the edge over Base Dink in the 1. Justin went in the 1. I believe it was something like 9-1 over last season.
Yeah.
And Base Dink is more like 17-15 lifetime. So it's
Wait, what?
No.
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 I'd just say there's maybe a slight difference in win percentage there.
I mean, just don't forget,
Base
almost
hasn't
went undefeated.
2 seasons in
she
a row.
almost went undefeated the season that, like, I think it was 2 seasons ago when HSA made it to the finals and then lost to Dad Legend.
Oh yeah, I guess did Base lose a playoff game?
Went 8-0 or not? I think she went 8-0.
She went 8-0, and yeah, her, Nedji, and Duin all went 8-0 in that regular season.
I could have joined them if I didn't get reverse swept by GHP.
Yeah.
Sad times.
All right.
But anything else that anyone would like to add? PWE, what do you think about this one?
So my personal opinion on this one, I actually thought the complete opposite of what you said, JR.
Yeah.
Well, not the same in the fact that it'll come down to the 1.
But you
Which
think it's
was-
going to be but
Yeah, I'm thinking Jimmy, Geranium, Kanu,
Oh,
and
I see what you're
Saku.
saying.
Yeah, so just flip them around, right? Because like, if you're saying that Turtle wins, but also Kailis Luna is not supposed to be in the 2, then does that mean Turtle should be in the 1?
Yes.
Okay, I didn't literally want an answer to that.
No, I'm kidding.
Turtle, I don't know. He hasn't been at max PR for very long, so I'm not sure if
True.
he'll
That's true.
continue into max PR or maybe like even out to around 500. I'm not really sure. I
Mhm.
don't know. Obviously, the 3 was too easy for him, but
Mhm.
maybe the 2 and the
Eh,
1 might be a little too much. I don't know. And Steffi, I'm pretty sure is a Battlegrounds player. So, um, yeah,
Yeah. Steffi.
well,
I
don't.
pick
I don't want there to be any kind of confusion with that. Like Steffi, was recently a battlegrounds player, like only, but like she had quite a history in THL as far as legacy and hero. So yeah, make no
sure.
mistake, she is pretty seasoned in both.
I'd say
Yeah.
give her the couple weeks, and Steffi will start winning. But the first week here, I'm not sure. I have to pick against her, unfortunately.
I think we're both going to play very well. But like Jared's been talking up Hearthstone Academy a lot. I just want to talk up my boys a little
Mhm.
bit while we still have time. Uh,
Sure.
Kanu is like the general THL. Like he's from an entirely different sort of pro-ish league. So like, just snatch him up, low PR player.
Yeah.
Um, and Rove, he has a 50, but that's because he just hasn't played in a long time. He has the background to really
Mm.
do well. So I think every single one of us, whole way down, is going to perform very well.
Nice. I'm excited to see how your team does.
I think this is going to be a pretty fun season overall. I think there's a
Yeah.
lot of, I think this season, for one thing, has a nice mix of strong returning teams and even some very interesting new ones that I'm curious to see how they're going to perform.
Yeah.
Either way, lot to look forward to. So let's move on to the next match. Agent PWE, this one is going to be yours. It's going to be a Noyo team versus Chaos Theory.
All right. So for a Noyo team, we got in the 1 Robocats versus Ron Mexico. And we have Catharsis versus Solo Jazz, who appears to be subbing in for Chaos Theory this week. I'm not really sure who's supposed to be
Yes.
in the 2, but
GHP.
Notorious
GHG.
GHP,
Okay,
yes.
sure. And then we got Duin versus Isocles, who's for some reason in the 3. We have
Right.
NJO versus Risen and Zethun versus Katamora.
Mhm.
So I chose this match because, well, first I had to choose one of Isocles' teams, uh, just for him, just so I could talk about his teams for once instead of the other way around. Uh,
Mm.
so RoboCats being in the 1 is interesting to me. I'm pretty sure he was masquerading as a 50 PR player not too long ago.
Yes.
So this 415 leap is quite a surprise. But then there's Ron, who, I mean, it's Ron, right? Who's gonna pick against Ron, even in
I've
the
done it
1?
before, but I've also regretted doing that several times. So make of that what you
Exactly,
will.
exactly. So I'd have to pick Ron there. Solo Jazz is quite strong. Even if he's not on their team, I think he'll do quite well. I give it to him.
Honestly, it's hard for me to picture Chaos Theory not doing well just because they've always kind of been on the cusp of great success, and now they just had a massive like upswing because they kept their 1 through 3 seeds and they added Ron Mexico. I feel like you kind
Right.
of need a moment to process that.
No, Chaos Theory seems they've always been borderline there, but this iteration looks strong all the way down
Oh yeah.
for sure.
Um, so I know that there was sort of a PR change for Robocats. He used to be considered as a 5 seed on another team, but then he was more honest about it, and his PR got changed such that he's now the 1st seed. I'm really hoping that there's not a big like culture shock there, because he's a very good player. I'm hoping that he actually shows that and does perform well in the 1st seed still.
Yeah.
I
As
think
do
he's got a
I.
good shot.
Yeah. I mean, I had 2 really good Hero Series battles with RoboCats. The first one was close. I will always make mention of that because I get to say I took someone who's now 1 seed to five games in a Hero Series. But
Yeah,
then I
right.
got absolutely stomped in the second one. It was not close. It was a 3-0. Um, so I mean I'm just excited for this Inoyo team lineup. Adding a 260 PR 5 seed in Zathund, who has played in the past and just took some time off. Um, Very excited. I'm excited to see NJO as in the 4. And doing Catharsis and Robocats very likely will very likely be swapping seeds throughout the season. And if not, it'll be the 1 and 2 swapping seeds a bit. When your PRs are that close, it tends to happen.
Yeah, I see what you mean there.
Yeah.
I mean, a Noyo team to me is probably arguably the biggest wild card of this entire season
Mhm.
because they've got, in theory, they could work really well, but it really, PR wise, you could easily kind of be dismissive of them. But I feel like, Robocat's Catharsis to win, they're solid players, as is Nice Jewish Owl and Zethun. From top to bottom, they're pretty strong, so that could work to their advantage. We don't often see strategies like this work out that well, but who knows? I mean, PR isn't like everything, really.
Yeah, no, I mean that's for sure. Like PR differences, like the PR system is great and like it generally tells people where they should be, but then there are outliers that happen. There are a lot of like outliers for players who just improve and they improve greater than their PR.
Right.
So we have situations where players who are 50s probably aren't actually 50s. They're a lot better. Or someone it generally doesn't go the other way. Generally, a player who's high PR is there for a reason. Yeah, and just this matchup in general, even though RoboCats really has a test this week in Ron, Mexico, and I'm sure he's very excited to get to play Ron first. Just a consummate professional player, just a consummate like pro as a person and how he handles things. And we have Solo Jazz, who I know plays pro and hasn't really played. Maybe has some experience in other series, PR based series, but coming in at 491 is pretty good. Duin has been climbing and climbing since he joined HSA 2 seasons ago. I mean, excited to play Ron. That's pretty cool. I would love to have a series with Ron. Also, let's give a shout out to Quaz for 22 months in a row with Prime sub. So thank you very much, Quaz. And then I think I might favor Chaos Theory in the upper seeds, and then favor Anoyo in the lower two, and then I think Ron and either Solo Jazz or Isocles will get the win. And then I think that Catharsis or Duin will get a win, and I think Anoyo might squeak a 3-2 because I think their bottom two, their 4-5 are very strong. It's definitely that team. This team is definitely definitely like not the top heavy build, but more of like an even out build, which tends to leave a strong 4-5.
Right.
Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah, I mean, this one's gonna be close. I'm curious to see if a Noyo team hits their stride this season.
Yeah. They made a run last season, and just because they didn't quite have it in the first few weeks, they weren't able to make playoffs.
Right. And let's move on to the last match
Yes.
of Legacy. That's going to be Pod People versus Standard THL Degenerates. Mr. Geranium Battle.
Yeah. So Pod People, last season in Legacy, unfortunately went 0-7. Standard THL Degenerates last season, unfortunately, were a somewhat different team. They had a completely different first and second seed, and then they also still went 3-4, did not make playoffs. So I'm very interested to see both of them sort of rebound. They are in what I might consider to be the weaker division. I mean, it doesn't include my team. So I think they both have a much better chance to make playoffs. I think it's also very interesting to me that Automated Button used to be in the 3 seed, but is now moving to the 2 seed in a completely different team now. Used to be in the 3 seed. In the winning team went crazy, went 9-1 over the entire season, and now is coming in at a 2 seed. And I think he's going to do just splendidly still. If I asked our hat whether he had anything to say, but I believe it's it's more so that he was just sort of generally praising his team. I think most of the other people on the other team are quite are very good, are very insane for THL, but do not count out Sweep Bay, so named because she swept the last match she played last season. She was 1-6, but she swept. She swept. Okay.
Yeah. No, for sure.
That's pretty impressive right there.
It is, yeah. I mean, it took me I mean, I've only played 2 seasons and it took, over a season and a half to actually like get a sweep win. Because they're very rare, especially in Conquest.
It can definitely be quite hard.
Yeah.
Yeah. Another thing to note is that Starlax and Wicked Good have been switching positions over the past few seasons, just swapping,
Yeah.
basically just based on PR. Unfortunately, that's because they've both been mostly losing, but because Starlax and Wicked Good are both switching in the 3 and 4, that means that the 4th seed on Pod People is pretty above average. So I feel like this might be it might be a bit closer than you might originally think for someone who went to 0-7 last time.
Yeah. I think in a meta that this team likes, they're going to play very well. I know Wicked Good wasn't especially a fan of last meta. And if he is enjoying this one, I believe he, especially with how close the 2, 3, and 4 are on this team. I know Zeroshio has struggled quite a bit, because I think when I entered, he was in the 400s.
Yeah, his PR used to be much higher.
Yeah, I don't think he's gotten any worse as a player. I just think that he's just struggled in THL, and I would love to see this team do well. So most of the players on these teams are, I mean, most players in THL are just fantastic people, and it obviously goes for Pod People that they are fantastic. I got to team in Battlegrounds with Sway, and that's her main game mode in Hearthstone. So just fantastic, and I would love to see this team do well in standard THL. Adding Mr. Python in the 1, you cannot go wrong with that. Adding automated button in the 2, you cannot go wrong with that. Sheep City, Corridon, and Quaz returning, I believe. And so I'm excited to see how this team does. They got very close to playoffs last season, so I'm imagining they want to push and get there this season.
Yeah, I think Pod People, they haven't changed their roster at all, but I
Yeah.
think that, they're also a team that's really good at working together. So I could see them having a really good shot here. I mean, look, we've seen teams who don't necessarily need to change much in order to really like find their rhythm. Hearthstone has variance. That's just kind of the nature of the game. So Pod People, given how much talent is there and how consistently good they've been over the years, I think they'll find a way.
Agreed. Right.
Anything else that we want to talk about with this match? Because I feel like this one's going to be a close one. I want to cheer for both of these teams.
Yeah.
Degenerates have two of my former pro teammates, and then Pod People, also people I've played with before. I've played with Zeroshio and Starlax. I have yet to be on a team with R Hat, and I hope to fix that one day. But until then, I'm still all for the Pod People.
Nice. Yeah, no, I agree with everything you said there.
There you
I'd
go.
Besides the
like to
fact I'm not on the pro team.
that for Pod People, it can only go up from last season.
Yes.
That's what you could say about my team as well. So valid.
Mhm.
And now we're going to move on to the Hero Series. So let's talk about the first match. This is going to be my discussion. That would be Dabs on him versus Dad Legend. And just a reminder, Hero Series, everybody is going to be playing each other. So
Yeah.
there's no conferences. This is just going to be one crazy season of teams fighting for that top spot. And there's going to be, and what makes this especially interesting is that it's going to be 11 weeks, and we're only cutting to a top 4.
Yeah.
So keep that in mind. But of course, we've got Dabs on them, a team that's pretty similar from last season. They made it all the way to the finals.
Yes.
Get lost, of course, to Tonk if you are corny. But coming back with a mostly identical roster, I think the only change is the 3 seed. Seth, aka For Christ, is playing for instead of. Does anybody happen to recall who
Booze.
their 3 seed was?
Booze was their 2 seed last season.
Oh yes, Boozosaurus. That's right, because he's stepping back. Yeah. So for the record, I actually had the pleasure of talking to Seth. I almost recruited him for my legacy team. He seems like a pretty dedicated player, a pretty strong asset to whoever picks him up. So I'm very glad that Dabs on and managed to grab him for the hero team. And then of course we have Dad Legend, who, you know, not much has really changed with them. These guys are pretty standard as they come, been around for a very long time. I think the biggest noteworthy thing here is the fact that
This
now this team is basically Dad Legend plus Chaos Theory, because they've got Risen and Isocles now.
this team actually changed a lot from last season.
Yeah, Risen and Corden are both new.
Yeah, they are. Last season they had Lotus Knight playing in the 1, I want to say.
No, it was
In the 2.
Isocles in the 1,
Isocles.
Lotus Knight in the 2.
Oh, okay. Lotus in the 2. Isocles has a really high hero PR, or very close to Lotus then.
Yes, he does.
Yeah, and then
That's why he's ridiculous.
and then
in the 3.
adding Risen and Corden to allow for Yellow Dart to be the 5 seed. Gross, and I might
Which is
gross,
dumb.
and I might actually have to play Yellow Dart next week if the way that PR shifts doesn't put him in the 4.
Seriously.
Yeah, my team plays
The
Dad.
PRs are quite even here, but
Yes.
that is not necessarily telling of how they did last time.
Sure.
Might be lagging.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, Dabs on him. I will once again give the weekly reminder. Buse is a 5 seed.
Mm-hmm.
He is the 3 seed, and he is my 3 seed in hero.
For the record, I'm the one who started that weekly reminder.
Yeah, that's right. I am continuing JR's weekly reminder that Buse is a 5 seed. But I'm excited. I mean, this is a cool matchup. I mean,
It's a very cool matchup, but it is crazy because
yeah.
I'm trying to remember, was Starlax in the 3 seed for Dad Legend last season, or was
Yeah, he would have been in the 3.
Okay, I think so. Because I played Lotus Knight. I played Lotus Knight. I was supposed to play him both times, but I ended up playing GHP for one of them because of the week he had to sub.
Yeah.
But yeah, this one, I think all these matchups are going to be pretty exciting. All of them actually seem pretty even to me, so I have no idea who to pick. Starlax versus Duwin, I would love to see, especially because that's the one I feel like, all right, these two should have played each other already, and now they're finally getting the chance.
Nice. Yeah, I agree.
And yeah, PR makeups are pretty similar. This will be a close one.
Starlax specifically, I'm maybe a little bit worried moving up into the 2 though, because he went 3-5 in the 3 last season. But
Right.
I think that it's still going to be quite a good match based on Isocles in the 1, just in Yellow Dart in the 5. I think that Legend is going to make it much closer than it might initially look.
Agent?
I don't understand how Yellow Dart's a 5 seed. I wouldn't be surprised to see them end in the 2 seed since they're not that far apart from each other. It's only like 60-ish.
Mm-hmm.
Dabs on them. I wonder whether does based recruit based on the person's name? Like, can I not join them if my name doesn't start with D, A, B, or S? Because it's rather convenient how it works out every time.
Mm-hmm.
But their teams look very similar, so it's basically a coin flip between the two, I'd say. So I think they both have a pretty good chance.
Sounds about right.
Yeah.
Also, just to clarify, we've actually been it's the cut for playoffs for Heroes actually going to be top 6, not top 4, which actually makes a lot of sense after what they did for for battlegrounds. Like the idea makes a lot of sense, but they didn't do that last time, so I wasn't sure.
Gotcha. Yeah. So thank you for the clarification from chat from C-Mac and Kel.
Yes. All right. So that's one hero match down.
Yeah, let's get to the next one.
PWE, would you like to talk about the next one?
All right. So for the next match, I believe we have Blast versus Wherever I May Roam. And for Blast, we have Avi in the 1 versus Ron Mexico again. And we have Lotus in the 2 versus Donde. Robocats versus the Big Ted, who did he play last season?
No.
No,
Big Ted took a break last season.
yeah, it looks like so Ted is back, so that's good to see. Former cult member, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's Mako versus Anfall and Saku versus Roadrunner.
Yeah.
I thought Roadrunner had way higher PR based on where I heard about their legend success, but I guess I'm wrong about that.
Probably. I mean, he probably just hasn't played a PR based series for a while. Because I know he played pro a couple seasons ago for Heat Shock's team. I'm not sure if he was playing that much PR based series though.
I'm guessing Roadrunner pulled the join THL when you're not very good and then get good and
Mhm.
not play enough games to have your PR reflect that.
Yeah,
which is kind of
maybe.
like cheating, but
Hmm, 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 hmm.
apparently is allowed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm really
I mean, it
excited.
works.
I look at both of these teams and I can see the possibilities for success for these teams. I'm really curious to see how Big Ted like how he does coming back from taking a break for a season. I mean, obviously sometimes you just need that. Sometimes you just need that break. You come back and you play really well. Ron and Donde both are 1 seed caliber hero players because Donde played played the 1 all last season for Dark Side of Cthulhu against some very strong players. And then Ron was a 2 and 3 seed last season, so moving back to where he belongs. Anfall in the 4 is really good. He's such a strong player. Within Blast, like Mako again in the 4, he's a really good player who probably should be higher PR'd, but just doesn't have quite the hero PR that he compared to his legacy.
Both of these teams I feel like are really strong contenders, but I got to give the slight edge to Blast
Mm-hmm.
because I feel like that 1 through 3, like even when you consider the very strong 1 to 3, 1 to 3 lineup for Wherever I May Roam, I think Blast just has the edge there. I think they just have like those matches could definitely easily be upsets in the favor of Wherever I May Roam, but Blast is going to make it hard for them. That's certain.
Yeah. By the way, so Dabs had the same sort of naming scheme as Blast. It may not look initially apparent, but Robocats is actually Bunny, so
Mhm.
that's
Yeah.
the B for Blast.
Yes.
And then this is, I think, another similar story to what I was saying about Robocats in Legacy, where Robocats is moving up. Robocats used to be the MVP in the 5th seed, and I think it's not going to be that much of a problem to move up to the 3rd seed. I really want to see how the Big Ted does from hiatus, but I think that I'm more in favor of Robocats in that matchup, and obviously his brother is is also extremely good.
Yeah.
It's going to be something, that's for
But
sure.
yeah, it'd be a good match.
We shall see what happens.
Yeah. We got one more hero match.
We got one more.
Ranium, this one's yours.
Oh yeah. I mean, this one I'm highlighting for 2 main reasons. One is because it has the back-to-back winners. Maybe even there'll be back-to-back-to-back winners after this season in CMAC and Nine Eyebrows. It also has the return of Turtle. Um, who I mean, we talked about before in Legacy. Turtle is just all over the place in THL this season. And then Skirt Reynolds is also returning. Um, I didn't necessarily pick this one because it's going to be a very close one. But yeah, I can talk up 1337 squad all I want, and maybe someone on Tam Pam Surf Slam can talk them up if they want.
Well, I mean, I love to talk about my team, so how can I say no to that offer? Um, uh, I mean, I'm excited for this one. Bitbeaker rounding out our team was a very nice pickup. I do think he's got quite a challenge ahead of him in Molestar, but I think that he's really taken his prep seriously and he seems pretty ready to take this guy on. I think just at this point, the match is looking relatively even. I'll admit, I think CMAC has a slight edge over me, but I think I can give him a good, at least put up a good fight against him, and we'll see what happens. But I also think just our roster is looking pretty solid. Oz in the 4 and Wash it in the 5 is kind of stupid. So I think like this could be a really strong season for us if we just all contribute. And obviously
Mhm.
Desharmo in the 1, continuing to be a beast. I think he can handle. I'm curious to see how he's going to do against Turtle because I want him to avenge me after my semifinals loss against him last season.
Uh, Going back to over to 1337 squad though, I mean, just like Turtle was in the 3 seed last time. CMAC has not changed positions. Is now
No,
still in the 2 seed.
CMAC was the 3, and Turtle was the
C-Mac was the
2,
3, Turtle was the
and
2.
Justin was the 1.
Yep.
Yeah. So the
It was a crazy team.
only switch out here is that Justin isn't playing on the team, and Molestar is coming in as their 3. And then Turtle and
And
CMAC move up.
Molestar,
Right.
I've had the pleasure of being on the same server as Molestar, and he is insane.
Yeah.
I think that him coming into the 3 seed is backbreaking.
Yeah.
So the 4 team members staying the same, only Justin Time is leaving that, and adding Molestar to replace it is. I think 1337 squad is going for the 3P.
Oh yeah. I would. I would not doubt that this team is really really strong. I this specific week, it's like I can see it being close based on how Oz and Wash do against Nine and Skirt. And then do Sharmo and Turtle as a matchup. That's very interesting. I might favor Molestar because I think by the end of the last season he was starting to pick up form in Hero because he did struggle a bit with the format last season on Agua. But I think he's going to do quite well this season. So and we'll see if it starts this week. I know Bitbeaker, he's a great player. So I'm curious to see how they match up.
AFG for life.
Oh yeah, he's one of my Amber Flight Gaming teammates. So I'm pulling for him.
I'm pulling for him, but
Yeah.
I think this one is going to be this could just be an outright stomp if 1337 squad live up to all their hype, which they very much could. I'm
Yeah.
hoping to get a good start against CMAC as I play him right after Tavern Talk.
All right. Yeah.
And commercial break time.
Yeah. So we're gonna go back to the caster screen. We're gonna do the commercial break. Geranium, take it away.
Do it.
Well, thank you so much for tuning in to Tavern Talk. If you're enjoying our show, make sure you check out Around the Spoon on Mondays and Ronnie Tuesday on Hearth Center someday that you'll never guess. Is that not enough content for you? Well, we stream THL matches each night from Thursday to Sunday, starting at 8 or 9 p.m. Eastern. All evening match schedules are determined by caster and player availability. No purchases necessary and void or prohibited. But that's not all. We also have incredible matches weekend afternoons on School Zone, precise times and days that are subject to availability. Please consider subscribing to our channel. The subscription enables the THL team to help cover the various costs of operating a website and improve the quality of our streams and content to our viewers. And I see someone asking in the chat, what is Twitch Prime? That's it. That's definitely what they said. Twitch Prime or Prime Gaming is a way to sub to the channel for free, and subscribers will get a THL emoticon as well as the lovely THL chat badge and sub emotes. In fact, there's a new sub emote, the Brushy Tuna emote, and it is swimmingly supreme. You can see that in the chat right now. So, so hit the hard button and keep the notifications on to make sure you catch our team broadcasting live. We appreciate each and every one of you. Special note to our viewers, please check out THL's other social media points of interest. Our website is teamhearthlegends.com and follow us on Twitter at @THL_HS. Join us in the Discord at Team Hearth Legends, and the THL POW podcast is wherever podcasts are sold.
All right. Fantastic. Great commercial break reading. Yeah, shout out to Brushy Tuna with the tuna emote.
Fast,
It was, yeah. Some might say better than Tuesday. But we might have to put that up to a vote again, and other predictions to see later in the season. All right. So, next up, we're going to talk about our pro series. The next two series that we play are not PR-based series, so it is pretty much you can put together kind of whatever team you want and get as kind of as OP a team as you can find. And we have some really good pro series teams. So we're gonna go to our first match. I'm gonna put that up on the screen, and JR is your match to talk about.
This is gonna be weird since I am no longer captaining in pro.
Yeah.
But I am very much excited all the same. But I'm going to be talking about Team Brushy Tuna versus Faction. Now, Faction, if I remember correctly, I think they're pretty much the same squad from last season.
There's a couple differences, I think.
All these players I know were in THL last season, though, right?
Yes. Ton's not playing on the team this season, it looks like. And Fogey, Walter Ruski is back playing on the team. He stepped away during the season.
Yes.
And so now they have Harash, Fogey.
I unfortunately know why.
Kraken, Unlimited, Walter playing. Or Walter Ruski?
Yeah, so all these players. So this is basically a team of players that were all playing in pro last season, but are now, but weren't all teammates. So that makes sense. Okay. And then, of course, we've got Team Brushy Tuna, which is a combination of THL veterans, including Based, Ron Mexico, Isaac Desharmo, and Lotus Knight. That's an insane combination of players right there.
I'm so excited for this team.
That team is just pure hype.
When I saw this team, I knew that in week 1, if I had the chance to pick matches, I was going to pick this team's match, just so we could talk about them.
Well, let's get the obvious part out of the way. This Team Brushy Tuna is basically 5 THL 1 seeds all playing on one team together.
Oh yes. This is a bunch of 1 seeds.
Isaac technically does count because he does play, because even though he plays in the 3 seed in Legacy, he does play in the 1 in Heroes. So all of these players play in the 1 seed in at least one series.
Yes.
Although I guess Lotus Knight isn't playing in the 1 seed this season, but he does have over 550 PR.
We're cheap.
So I would technically still count him. It's not his fault that he's playing with Avi, who has the highest THL PR, I think, right?
No.
Behind Nedji.
Yeah, maybe behind Nedji Boston. Yeah, he's playing with Nedji Boston in Legacy, who I believe is either first or second.
Yeah, that's literally the only reason that Lotus Knight's not a 1 seed.
He eclipsed 800 PR, 800 true PR last season at one point.
Yowza.
Yeah, but Lotus, insane player, and just all around great THL member and opper.
Yeah, I mean, Faction is still though a pretty strong. These are pretty seasoned players themselves, though. They're all pretty well recognized.
Mm-hmm.
I think this is going to be a, you've got some very seasoned players in this match, and I mean, I'm naturally going to be gravitating towards Brushy Tuna because THL represent.
Yeah.
But Faction, definitely glad these guys all decided to return.
Yeah.
I'm excited to see how they perform this season.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, I think losing Toneberry Blue is a pretty big hit, but everyone was doing extremely well in Faction, except for maybe Walter Ruski. But I think that can definitely change. This is an insane team on both sides.
Mm-hmm.
Question: Is Tonberry Blue playing on a different team this season, or
No.
is he just stepping back from pro?
He's just not playing THL.
Rip.
Yeah. He's a good friend of mine. I mean, I'm guessing he just decided that he wanted to give it a shot for 1 season. Maybe he maybe it's just turned maybe not out to be completely for him, but I mean, he's
Yeah.
a great player, and I wouldn't be surprised if he comes back eventually. Or he might actually be on another team. I don't know all the pro teams, so we'll see. Agent, what are your thoughts on this match?
So the team Brushy Tuna, I think in the past seasons, there's been put a bunch of one seeds together that has included Isocles and Ron and whoever else it was before. I don't remember, but it hasn't worked out as well as you'd think. Any of the times they've come together, so I'm not sure I'm a believer this time. But and also faction, what were they? Did they go like 7-2 or something during the regular season?
Yes.
Get the
7 and
playoffs and
4.
something crazy like that. I'm not. I think that was a fluke. I don't think that happens again, especially without Ton. So I kind of just called both the teams underwhelming. So I'm gonna say that Brushy Tuna though they pull off an insane week one, live up to the hype, but they're gonna fizzle out like a firework on the 4th of July.
Hmm.
Right.
Interesting.
So, I mean, Tomberry Blue was 8-3, but I mean, Unlimited Power, Harash, and Flying Kraken were not far behind with 7 wins each. So I think that Tomberry Blue being switched out for Foggy 8 is not
No.
as big of a change to the team as maybe it should be.
Yeah, I don't know which conference this team is in. There's kind of a distinct difference where between the two conferences. I just wish I remembered. I think I believe this is Black Conference. I want to say. I'll check it.
Yeah,
While
it's
other
Black
people
Conference.
talk. Okay, yeah. Where I think I don't know. I think both these teams can thrive in that specific conference. So we'll see how it plays out, and we will. If no one has any last thoughts, we can. I'll move on to the next match. All right. Next up, we have the match that Agent picked out.
Right. So for my pro match, I chose F2L Scarlet versus Mancrick's Multiple Wives. For the I don't know if this is the only F2L pro team. I
There's two.
think there's another one. Yeah, the other
Yeah.
one's some other shade of red or
Yeah,
white
Crimson.
or I don't. Yeah, it's crimson, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So for F2L, there's Berserk, Rescue Wabbit, Ariana 20, Snake, and Rebob, who I think this is like 4 of the 5 the same players from F2L, whatever it's called. I
Oh,
can't
last
keep
season it was
track of
just
everything.
last season.
Last season it was just F2L
It was just F2L, of
Yeah,
course. That makes
the pro
sense.
team has always been just F2L.
because they
Just
started off as
F2L.
FTL. Then when they got their second championship, they changed it to F2L. Some good history behind there.
Yeah.
But yeah,
course.
literally the only change to this team this season is Rebobson came in for Chain Magician.
And
Yes, that sounds right.
yeah, and Chase on the other team. So
And then
Wait,
the
what?
one no, it looks I think he's on a different pro team. I don't know. I couldn't tell you which one.
I'm not seeing him on the opposing team.
Chain Magician? No, he's on the other F2L team.
Oh, okay.
Oh, that makes more sense.
Sorry, yeah, I said other team. I meant the
I
the
forgot
sister
F2L
team.
has 2 pro teams this season.
Yeah, they're running 2 pro teams.
And then for MMW, as I will refer to them, there's MPV, Lefty, Wild 9, NJO, and Jester. And first impression is F2L looks like a somewhat broken pro team, and then MMW looks like a legacy team that has decided they'd like to play pro, which has happened before, but I'm not sure they stand much of a chance against what F2L is putting up against them.
I believe in Nice Jewish Owl. I think that he might end up playing a bad control warrior, but I believe in him. I think that he's going to put up a huge fight. Um, Jester though is a YouTube content creator. That's what I know him for. So he was on my team in Octathlon. I really want to see him do well here, but he's a 3 seed in Legacy. So to see him be in Pro is interesting.
Yeah, I think the fun thing about Pro is there are some players who just sometimes thrive in open deck list formats. And Jester has been improving rapidly. Where he put up a really good Legacy season in the previous season. I mean, I'd like to see him do well as everyone else on the MMW team. I mean, I've faced Lefty before. He was my first THL win that I got. So that was pretty special. I don't know much about MPV. I know he did well in I believe it was the 5th anniversary tournament last season. Or maybe that was 2 seasons ago. I don't even remember at this point. Yeah, Wild 9, really strong 1 seed. So I'm excited. And F2L, very, very solid team. They have been solid since I've been around. That the F2L pro team has always been strong. And I think they will be again.
And just so people are clear, for those wondering who's on the other F2L team, that would be Itachi, Marty B, Corbett, Derivus, who, if you don't know, is an insane player.
Derivus.
He's also another Hearthstone lawyer, just like me. So fun facts, but it's Derivus, and I had the 4th person down here.
It's Che.
Che Magician. There we go.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's also a very strong-looking team, albeit a little differently. But you've basically got the F2L staples between both of these rosters, and they're also in different conferences, so that works out even better for them. This is going to be a crazy pro season.
Yeah.
Magician was a huge poach though from the team. Chain Magician doing very well even in Masters Tour qualifiers in Ironforge, and then getting nicked off and taken to the other F2L team. Maybe a powering down of each team.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what happens.
Yeah.
I mean, it to me, it's like you can't go wrong either way, because you've basically got the wild, like a majority of the wild team now on the pro team, and that's certainly going to work to their advantage because these guys are great at working together already. So, yeah.
Yeah, and F2L is just a prep, like the whole org are prep monsters, like, and it's cool to get to kind of learn that firsthand being on one of their teams. But yeah, they are very good at prepping for opponents. You know, I mean, prep doesn't mean that you're gonna win every week. It gives you a good chance every week, though.
Yes.
So we'll see how it plays out. For all the F2L, for every team, but especially for the new F2L Crimson team. No, I'd like to cover them in the next couple weeks. So yeah, we have one more match in Pro to talk about, and that's what Geranium picked. So go ahead.
Yeah, I made sure to snatch this one up really quick because this is two huge powerhouses. This is Aeon versus Clownstone, what used to be Yashraj's Clown College, and Clownstone is just like pluck people from the very top ranks of Legend and just put them in a team.
Yes.
And the teamwork is very good as well. We saw Nails and Lumble even just sign up last second and take the entire duos tournament a few days ago. So I believe Arhat had a little bit to say in favor of his team. I think that he thought everyone has a good chance to win. I do definitely agree with him, but I think one big part of it is that Donde, as he said, has to not bring Donde decks, and he wanted me to at Donde. Donde's not in chat, so I'm going to go ahead and add him on Discord right now. Please don't bring any Donde decks.
Fantastic.
And
Yeah.
So yeah, now this is now we've got ourselves a matchup between two teams that have not changed their rosters at all.
Yes. Yeah, these two teams are exactly the same. Um, when you start the pro season, I'm not 100% sure how the seeding goes. I'm pretty sure. I think the captains can kind of just decide it right away. I'm not 100% sure. Jr, you have better insight being a former pro captain how that works.
What do you mean?
Like week 1 seeding for pro.
Oh, so week one, so it basically ends up, um, the pro seeding at the beginning can be very relevant because if two players have the exact same record, then the player who it just happens to be above them stays there, no movement
Yeah.
happens. So the first week ends up being pretty relevant, especially because all the players that win are gonna like move up, and then all the players that lose are gonna move down. So that can immediately kind of shape
Yeah.
up the the lineup a bit.
Yeah. So, you'll notice throughout the season that these players will jump seeds way more in the for those who aren't familiar with the league format series that we hold. In pro and wild, these players will jump up and down seeding based on their record. So, yep, I think this matchup in particular is very interesting. I think that a lot of these matchups kind of line up well for Clownstone with the seeding. I think having I know Risen is a really good player and he has done better. It seems he does a little better in pro than he does in the other in like PR based series. I know he did well in Hero last season, but like Kalos Luna versus Risen, I think I would favor Kalos Luna. I think Lumble versus Donkey. I'm not sure. That one might end up actually being pretty close. Nedji versus Mark Shire. I will always root for Nedji. But um I know he's extremely busy right now with finals, so maybe he might stumble this week against Marshar just based on lack of time, really prepping everything. But he's just an insane player. Valera versus Donde. I mean, yeah, if Donde doesn't bring Donde decks, he definitely, as our hat would say, Donde decks. I don't actually know what that means 100%. How that manifests, but Valera is also a really good player, and Nails uh, has been top 10 finishing on ladder, and it's also been playing very well. And watching our hat and Nails play matches against each other on stream has been a treat, and I'm looking forward to seeing them on stream this weekend.
Yeah. So our hat actually lifetime versus Nails. Our hat in his first match versus Nails went 0-3.
Mm-hmm.
In his second match versus Nails went 1-3. Third match versus Nails went 2-3. And this is
Mm-hmm.
going to be his fourth match against Nails.
Yeah.
If we have enough games, I think we're going to see a 3-3.
Maybe, yeah. I Yeah, I've casted I casted, I believe, their last match. It was very close.
One last thing I want to say before we move on from them, though, is that Nails, sorry, the Nedji Boston did leak to me some pretty spicy info that they were going to their plans for the match, and Neji's saying that they're planning to get a 5-0.
Oh yeah,
Ooh,
That's all their plans.
sure,
bold.
possible. They're a very good team, but they should also obviously they also won't take their opponents lightly. So we'll see how it plays out.
Clownstone is. I appreciate Corden's comment. It's insane. Clownstone is. I know their team pretty well, all of them, and Fish, you say that they'll have some respect for their opponents, but I've heard what they have to say, and I'm not sure that's true. I don't think they have respect for any of their opponents, and I think they have good reason. I think there's like zero chance they don't make playoffs,
Oh yeah, I mean they'll make playoffs.
and so I think the only way they really lose is if in playoffs they just like get high rolled 3 times,
Oh my.
which could happen maybe, but also if you're making a pro team, it's hard to get any better than what they've done, right? So
Yeah, I mean, maybe besides like the defending, like maybe besides the team that For the Boys had last season.
Right, the team that high rolled them. Yeah, right.
They didn't play Clownstone in the finals.
Oh, did they not? Did
No,
Cloudstone not make
they
it to the finals?
they played Popeyes. Popeyes got really
Oh yeah, okay.
they
Popeyes
they
is
they had really they got really good lineup matchups. Like I looked at them
okay.
and they actually just kind of out line up them.
That's one true thing. I don't know Prep and Clownstone. I don't know if that exists, but other than that,
Yeah, I mean, at least to the I mean, I guess if you're telling me that, then that's contrary to what I have said. I figured, you know, if you're not at least prepping a lot, or if you're not at least like putting the time in on prep. I mean, sometimes raw talent can win, but see if that gets them all the way this season. I mean, I really like the team. I hope they do well.
Same. I think it's going to be good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
There's a button for Aeon.
There is. There is a button for Aeon. All right. We're going to move into Wild now. As soon as I pull the match up that we're going to talk about first. All right. It's this match. Cool. Switching over now, we're going to be talking about F2L Viridian versus the Pog Merchants, which we actually have a result on. So, JR, go ahead.
1 second.
Mhm.
Right. So we've got ourselves F12 Viridian, the finalist from last season. And I'll be honest, I have very mixed feelings on the roster change because on one hand, they got Get Meowth. Like,
Really?
that is a huge pickup right there, considering how well known he is in the community, his content creation for Wild. The man is no joke.
Yes.
But on the other hand, who wants to tell me who's missing from this team now?
Well, Itachi stepped back from the team.
Right. I understand that. But my point is, it's Itachi.
Yeah.
Like, he did not have the best record on this team, but
No.
by God, is he an asset.
Yes.
And I get it, 100%, but I am, of course, as a huge lover of the man known as Itachi, I am certainly sad to see him not be playing, even though, realistically speaking, F2L is still going to be in a great spot.
Yeah. I mean, there's definitely a case in which Itachi is, like According said, a pretty huge loss to the team. I don't know if he's completely. I doubt that he's completely like just not gonna help the team at all. I don't think this team necessarily like any prep that he can help with. I'm sure he'll be really well do that. Like Itachi's a really great prepper, and can help this team a lot. And having a player as talented as Get Meowth for sure, very good.
Right. And now, of course, we have the Pog Merchants led by the one, the only, the man who managed to pick up 2 championships last season, Diamond.
Yeah.
Also, is Diamond not in chat? Because if so, that's rather sad.
Yeah, I don't know if Diamond's in chat or not. Yes. So Pog Merchants is I know 3 of the 5 players. Like for sure, I know Lasagna, I know Maxibon, and I know Tom Carter. They're all Maxi is a really, really good player. Lasagna is a really good player. Pace, taking the win this week. So I'm gonna guess he's no slouch when it comes to Wild, getting a 3-2 win over Nedji Boston. And then an awful artist I'm not 100% familiar with, but I'll be doing my research on the Wild on some of these newer Wild teams as we go along the season. So I mean, seeing that Pog Merchants took 1 match, it's just F12 Viridian such a powerhouse team that I don't expect them to lose any weeks. But maybe there's a chance that Pog Merchants keeps it pretty close. I'm very interested to see how the Wild meta actually shapes out because I do not know exactly what's going on right now with it. So yeah, Geranium or Agent, your thoughts on the match?
I mean, there's a reason why he's a legendary Wild Hearthstone streamer. Get me out.
Yeah,
Um, Marty B is always strong in F2L in Wild. Like it, F2L Viridian just has all the momentum with this. Rotted Zombie is like wins whenever he needs to. I think F2L Viridian is going to clean this up, even with a loss with Nedji Boston.
nice.
I don't know much about Wild as I don't play it, but I know that F2L is very good. So I think they'll continue to be very good.
That's definitely a good insight for sure. They are a good team, and
No doubt about that.
yeah. So, and also Corbett is the reigning MVP, so we'll see how that plays out. He has done extremely well every season he played, and he has played, I think, every Wild season so far. All right. So next match we have is Agent's Pick, which is everyone's a winner versus Bash Bros.
All right. So for everyone's a winner versus Bash Bros, I chose this one because I don't know anything about Wild, so I thought it'd be pretty easy to form an opinion on this one. But we have for everyone's a winner, we have Battle Tagger, Hazer, 6J, Absolute, and Sunday versus Anubinator, Reverb, Mr. Python, Jailstorm, and Rice Bowl. And yeah, everyone's a winner is imagine there's pro, but then you're doing wild, making a wild team instead, and that's pretty much what everyone's a winner is, and that's completely insane. Bash Bros,
Basically.
they're all right. They're all right. They got some solid standard and wild players in there, but nowhere on the level of everyone's a winner, as you can tell by Battle Tagger, who I think is like a rank 1 legend type person. We're already winning 3-0 in his 1 seed match.
Yeah. I was talking with the guys on the show that everyone's a winner. I'm not 100% sure if they're all top 50 right now. But I know they're at least very close to all being top 50 on the Wild ranked ladder right now. So I expect this team to continue to be winners. There are some notable players on Bash Bros though. Mr. Python, Jailstorm, and Rice Ball being strong players that I know of. Reverb, I think, had a decent season. This is returning most of Bash Bros 2, Electric Boogaloo from last season. Looks like Jailstorm is captaining them now. I don't remember who captained them previously. But just going up against the champs, that's a tall task, and I expect the reigning champs to continue their winning ways this week.
Yeah, Hmm. It's interesting, kind of seeing. It's interesting seeing the Wild. Like, it's just something I. There's just a lot of interesting variety amongst the rosters and a lot of names I'm not really familiar with. But like with a team like Bash Bros, for instance, I am at least somewhat familiar with this team due to the prominence of some of their players. And of course, everyone's a winner. We've got the returning champions. So, some pretty seasoned teams. I'm excited to see if everyone's a winner will will go for that repeat run, or if this is going to be some new team is going to take the title from them.
Yeah, definitely. We'll see. From what I've heard from these players is that there's still kind of a large gap between everyone's a winner, like F12 Viridian, and there's another team, Hair Club, that's also very strong. A lot of the players seem to think that there's that kind of those three, and then the rest of the teams kind of fall behind them. But we'll see how the season plays out. I know that Anoyo is also very strong, and speaking of Anoyo team, let's go to our last match. And since Geranium Battle did have to leave early from the show, I will read this one off. It is Wild THL Fanatics versus a Noyo team, and this is a different iteration of Wild THL Fanatics. We've got captained by BOMD. They have Slad. They have Slad in the 1 this week. Turtle in the 2. Labor Sangre in the 3. Electric Sheep City playing the 4. BOM and Doctor BOMD in the 5. On a Noyo, they are returning most of their team. They have Duin in the 1, Slight in the 2, Bone Masher in the 3, Matt at Arms in the 4, and it's me, Mike V, returning to THL this season in the 5 seed. I'm very excited. I'm actually pretty excited to see how both of these teams do, because while THL Fanatics was a very, very strong team in the first season, and then the next 2 seasons they just struggled very heavily, and picking up this lineup. I know most of these players. Obviously Turtle, BOMD, and Electric Sheep City playing other, and Slad also playing other series in THL. And I know Labor is actually is a strong wild player, so I think this one's is pretty evenly matched in general. And I think it'll come down to how if Turtle and Slad can get some wins for Wild THL Fanatics. I think the bottom 3, 4, 5 might kind of split. We'll obviously split. I think they'll split 2-1 from there.
I can see that. There's definitely a lot going on here.
Yeah. And I'm also
I think
No, go ahead, Agent.
WTF really benefited from in the first season of the 3-person team format.
Mm-hmm.
Once they expanded to 5 people on the team, it was the synergy that they had. I think it was weakened by that, and Mike Lowe, the loss of Mike Lowe, whenever that was.
This
I don't
season.
know. I think they suffered. They've suffered.
Yeah. Having Mike kind of under, like, having whether it's like IRL related things or just needing to take a break. It seems like this season he's decided to step away from the team. We'd love to obviously see him come back to THL in some capacity. But I think Agent's right. I think not having him really around all the time, maybe the last 2 seasons hurt a lot, because I think he brings a lot to their team. And we'll see how this team does without him playing.
Yeah, I mean it's hard to predict these things, you know. Sometimes a team like really presses on, and then sometimes they might falter. I mean, we're gonna kind of see the same thing with F2L and Itachi's absence, you know.
Yeah, we will.
It'll be very interesting.
All right. So I think that's gonna do it for the series, for the show. As we usually do on Tavern Talk, we will go and do a quick interview with our guest Agent PWE. We have a few questions here. I just gotta pull them up on my phone because I can't, because it's so much easier to do that. Right. So, first question I have is, how does it feel to be able to dodge Mr. Python so consistently? Asks Quaz.
I don't know what Quaz is talking about. I'm actually complete lie. I did dodge him though, for I think the first time basically ever, in this week 1 of Hero, and I'm quite happy about that because I'm very confident I've lost to Mr. Python every time I've played him, which is at least 3 or 4 or 5 times.
Mm-hmm.
So the fact that whoever is Carvalho, a new member on No Pros here in the 2, is gonna take him out for me, and I really appreciate that. I don't appreciate when I have to play him. I don't want to say that it's because Mr. Python's a lot better than me, because he might be, but probably not. But he's really good at high rolling me. I've noticed. I'm
Mm,
just gonna put it out there. I feel like every time I'm getting high rolled, it's by Mr. Python.
fair, fair.
Yeah. Right. I have no clue if you have. Do you have the notes pulled up? Because this one actually relates to me having to like ask you what a word means.
Okay, I can pull up the notes and read the questions if
Well,
you'd
it's just
like.
like, what does this word mean?
Yeah, so like they're asking
It's like
the team
Okay,
name mean, which
okay,
we were
yeah.
talking
no, it's
about
not the
before.
team.
Okay,
No, it's not the team
yeah,
name.
It's
yeah.
not?
It's actually
Right,
no,
right.
it's not the team name.
Right. I don't ask me to be able to pronounce any part of our team name,
Yeah.
nor recognize where in the whole name this comes from.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna say that either means Bake Yugi, fan club, or fan club. Okay.
Oh.
Um, I'm sure no one has any idea what I'm referring to because you
Yeah.
can't see it.
I
But
haven't put the text up on the screen. I'm too
right.
lazy.
But
But
I'm gonna say it means Bank Yugi because I don't know.
no, actually, Justin pulled this, and he put your username into Google Translate.
I
So
see. Of course. Of
yeah,
course. I should
so
have
that
known.
was from
I should
Always
have known.
Just in Time. We have another Always Just. We have a couple more Always Just in Time questions. The next one cracks me up. Do you call your ladder sessions Pee Wee's Playhouse? Jesus.
I've never called it that before, but I might start doing it now. It's a
I
Fantastic.
good
mean,
name.
sure.
Yeah. Yeah, and Jared can ask the next one.
Um next one would be how many more MT matches do you have to win to make GM and change the org name to One Pro here?
I'm pretty sure that if I win enough Masters Tour matches to become GM, that I have to leave No Pros here. Is actually how it works.
Oh no.
I'm no longer allowed to be on the team. So, but it's okay though because I'll never win enough matches to become a GM. So I don't have to worry about it. But right, that wouldn't work. We would
Yeah.
have changed the name just for me.
Gotcha.
I'd leave.
Yeah.
Fair.
Um. And then, oh, Diamond wanted you to see if you could pronounce your team name without
Oh,
using Google.
oh Lord. Yeah, I'll get back to you on that one.
All right.
Uh, certainly not. It's in Wingdings, according to some people, and I can't read Wingdings.
Oh, I'm pretty sure that's just the Thai language.
No, it might be Thai if you are a person of knowledge, but
Yeah.
if you're someone else
Mhm.
uneducated, it's Wingdings.
Sure. And then
Right.
one last question. Um, Diamond's has asked you to predict who will be the See, he's just said the MVP, and I'm not sure what series he means.
The
Um,
MVP.
I'm not sure what series Diamond means by that. You can take whichever series you want and predict an MVP.
Does he mean
Um,
like crossover?
I don't
Crossover
know.
MVP? Okay,
It's
well
unclear.
I'll pretend like that's what he meant.
Sure, we can do that then.
Okay, okay. Well, I'd say myself, but that would put too much pressure on myself. So I won't do that. Uh, I mean, Nails right now is kind of on fire. So if he wants to actually be as good as he thinks he is, or as being a double one, because that's not good
Yeah.
enough, um, he should get crossover player.
It just
I'm not sure he's playing in enough series though. I don't really know,
it's three. I
but it
think
doesn't
you
matter.
have to play 3 series to be eligible.
Yeah. I don't know if he's playing in
But
1 or 2 or 3,
he's
and
definitely he's in. I think he's playing Legacy and Pro. But all he really has to do is sub in
right,
Hero.
right.
He
So
can
he'll figure it out.
he can sub in Hero and be eligible. I mean,
So yeah. So
yeah.
basically, if Nails, even if he's not playing in series, if he doesn't get crossover, he's trash, right? I think we can all agree.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So
I don't
I
know
I
about that.
I will I will go with the person that they want to rename the award after and say that Nedji. So just like apparently Avi did this as well, is win 3 straight crossover player of the seasons. I didn't even know how long this award has existed, but I would say he would tie the record 3 in a row. But that's just because he's my boy, and I will always say that.
Yeah, that's fair.
Mm-hmm.
And then I think there was another question, right?
Or
no. I think that was
oh yeah, Geranium's question. If you want to go ahead and read that off the Discord.
it. Yeah, give me
Right.
1 sec.
And Agent
This
knows
is the
about.
important question.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Agent PWE. Would you rather be known as Agent Pizza with Everything, Agent Penflinger Will Eviscerate, or Agent Popular Watchtower Expansion?
So I said this earlier, and I'll say it again. This is a very easy answer. I would certainly not be Penflinger Will Eviscerate because, well, he can't go face anymore. How is he going to eviscerate, right? And so now I'd have to pizza with everything. Like, come on, man. What am I, like 12 years old, right? No, that doesn't make sense either. But popular Watchtower expansion. Now that's right on. I mean, who doesn't love a good Watchtower, right? That's our favorite card in the game, isn't it?
Oh gosh.
Don't you love to just plop
Debatably.
down, plop down
Debatably.
2 mana Watchtower,
Debated,
3 mana
yeah.
Watchtower? Your opponent does the same thing. Game stalls out for the next 8 turns. Isn't that not like peak Hearthstone right there?
Mhm.
So of course, popular Watchtower expansion. That's me. I love
Yeah.
me some Watchtowers.
All right, and we'll throw one more in because Diamond asked it in chat, and he wants to know what PWE actually stands for or means.
Okay, so if you look at my name on Twitch, you'll see that it's PWE
Yeah.
with underscores.
Yes.
So I guess that implies that it's not supposed to be Pee-wee.
No.
But
I'm
then
guessing.
again, I couldn't explain to you why it would be either of them because I don't remember when I made it.
Oh. Okay.
So we're just gonna go with say it's Pee-wee and that the underscores are like nothing. Just
Sure.
ignore them.
Sure.
It means Pee-wee. Right,
Sure.
of course.
We got this.
Yes, of course it means Pee-wee, because why wouldn't it, right?
I
Right, it
guess.
makes sense.
I mean, that's up to
Makes
you.
sense.
I'm not supposed to tell you what your name means.
I mean, you might,
Yeah, that's up to you, man.
by decree, it's Pee-wee. Or I
Nice,
think
we'll
it was
take it.
decreed a while ago by
Yeah.
like Yellow Dart or someone like that. No,
Sure.
but I'll accept it.
Oh yeah. Agent Diamond, this is coming from the person on Concede Your Match. Kappa.
Oh,
Oh
Concede
gosh,
Your Match,
Diamond.
the best team name in
Best team
existence.
and name in existence.
Yes.
PWE stands for redacted, says Disco.
Yes, that's true. It's true. I'm not legally allowed.
That's
to
right,
say
you
this.
were on redacted.
I was. It's true.
Oh gosh.
After our original team buy
name, yeah.
Yeah, redacted by our hat.
Mm-hmm.
Feels bad.
Yeah.
I mean, it worked out though.
It did.
Did, yeah.
All right. So matches for the week.
Sure.
We should probably wrap things up.
Yeah, we'll go to our closing and we'll talk about what's going on the rest of the weekend. Right. So Thursday night throwdown. We're gonna have
I think that has to be updated.
I don't have any I don't know any of the matches for Thursday, I think. I'm looking at the stream scheduling and there's nothing put up. I just need to so if you it'll be in the Discord. If there's anything right now, I'm pretty sure Thursday's pretty open. So contact Saku if you want to play if you're playing tomorrow. But also deck lists or classes and deck lists are not due until tomorrow. So
correct. Remember that just for this week though. Going forward, it
just
will
for this
generally
week.
be tonight.
Due to the nerfs, the deadline has been pushed back. And then Friday night fights, I can say for certain that it's 8 p.m. Eastern, Legacy Red Conference, Lefty 2-1-1-1 of Dirty Mike and the boys against Haster from Dad Legend. So that'll be a clash of 5 seeds. And then at 9 p.m. Eastern, we'll have one of the Battlegrounds lobbies. We'll have the A lobby for one of the 3 lobbies. And that those casters will be a combination of myself, Corden, and Saku casting those. And I believe in 10 p.m. I believe is still open. If you would like to play at 10 p.m. Eastern on Friday, contact Saku about that, or Lotus, and they'll get you directed to the person who was doing that day. We have Salty Saturday matches, 9 p.m. Eastern, Hero Series match. Hero Series is just going to be the Teal Conference this season, but that's going to be Clarity of Inferno THL versus myself. So I will be playing on stream this weekend. So myself representing F2L Black. And then 10 p.m. Legacy Red Conference match, Astral Frog of Dirty Mike and the Boys versus Desharmo of Dad Legend. The casters for that will be Donde and Ron Mexico. Schoolstone, we will have a Saturday match, noon Eastern, always just in time of Do You Even Tonk versus Based Inc. of Hearthstone Academy. I will be opping it, and I'm not 100% sure who the casters are, but I'm sure they are already set, and I am just going to find out in the next couple of days. Sunday Schoolstone, 4 p.m. Eastern, Legacy Gold Conference, Duin of Anoyo versus Isocles of Chaos Theory. And then 5 p.m. we're going to have a Pro Series Pink Conference match, R-Hat versus Nails, Aeon versus Clownstone. And that'll be Lotus Knight and some cat and other people casting. And finishing off the weekend Sunday showdown, 8 p.m. Eastern, Hero Series match, Lotus Knight versus Donde, Blast versus Wherever I May Roam. And then 9 p.m. will be the B lobby of the Battlegrounds series lobby that we'll cover on Friday. So casters for the Hero Series match will be Dollar Bills and Myanodon, and then your Battlegrounds casters are Steffi and Blue Sombrero. So there are still slots left open. Contact Donde, Marty B, Lotus Knight, Saku. You can contact me as well if you want to have your match streamed this week. And as always, thank you for watching Tavern Talk. Yeah. I lost my train of thought. Thank you, Agent, for coming on. Thank you to Geranium Battle as well for coming in as our kind of permanent third co-host. I appreciate JR, and I appreciate you doing this a lot.
100%.
As always, JR, thank you for being my co-host.
Always a pleasure.
Always a pleasure. And to everyone, have a great night, be safe, and we will see you next Wednesday.
Later, everybody.